What's the economic outlook for the city of Las Vegas? We're speaking with Councilman Stavros Anthony to get his thoughts. I'm David Grana, and this is Real Talk. Councilman, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, David.
So, Councilman Anthony, you're in your third term as city councilman for the city of Las Vegas. Got to ask you, what are the most remarkable changes and developments that you've seen in the city of Las Vegas during your tenure?
That's a great question because I mean the last 12 years that I've been on the city council, I think probably number one has been downtown. When I came on in 2009, and even prior to that, downtown Las Vegas kind of had a bad reputation. You know, it's crime ridden. People really didn't go down there much. There was a certain certain people went downtown, but not very many. So it was just the economy was a little tough in the downtown area. Even living downtown was very difficult. And I'll have to give credit to Oscar Goodman. He's the one that decided that the city council needs to focus more of their efforts on downtown Las Vegas, and I got behind him 100%. And you fast forward today and look at downtown Las Vegas; it's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, we just had a casino, the Circa, built brand new casino for the first time in 40 years. We have Symphony Park that is building like crazy. We have the Smith Center, the Lou Ruvo Brain Institute. We have neighborhoods that are coming back in the downtown Las Vegas. We have restaurants. We have the Arts District, the Museum District. So I think that's really what Las Vegas should be most proud of, is that we took a downtown area that was really starting to decay and brought it back. And I understand that. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and Detroit, Michigan has been in decay for the last 50 years and still is in pretty tough shape because the local governments there didn't really focus on revitalizing it, and that's what we've done. So that's been a huge difference, and I think having downtown Las Vegas come back and be a place where people go to gamble and live and work and entertain and eat is just good for the rest of the valley. So that's number one. I think second is when it comes to the entire city of Las Vegas, I think the one thing that we've really done a good job on is really focusing on parks and open spaces. We've done a good job of partnering up with the Bureau of Land Management and raising what's called SNPLA money, where a certain portion of monies that come from the sale of BLM land to private developers comes to the city of Las Vegas. And we have built some phenomenal parks, trail system, bridges over major thoroughfares. I just recently built Trigona Hills Park in Ward 4. It's one of the newer parks. The older parks that we've had, we spent money refurbishing them, and a lot of that came from not just slip-run money, but we took a portion of the hotel tax and we bonded it for about $90 million and used that money specifically for parks and trails and open spaces. So we have a system in the city of Las Vegas where people can, pretty much walk to a park from their home or ride a bike, and they can take their dogs and their kids or their spouses and go to a park and feel safe and enjoy themselves and get outdoors. And I think what's even more important is it's a chance for people to get together and talk, because the kind of the way a lot of us live, and it's not I don't want to say it's a bad thing, but a lot of us when we come home, we drive our car to the garage, we shut the garage, and we really don't even know who our neighbors are. So, and that really doesn't create a sense of community. So these parks are a way for people to kind of bump into each other and say, hey, how are you? Where do you live? What's going on in your neighborhood? Where are you from? And yeah, we're having a problem over here. Who can we call to solve that? And a lot of times they'll call their city councilman and tell them this is what's going on in our neighborhood. So I think that's a big deal for the city of Las Vegas. And probably third is the tremendous growth that's occurred on the west end and the northwest end of Las Vegas. I mean, the Howard Hughes Corporation has a 20-year master plan for the west end of Las Vegas that is absolutely phenomenal. We have Coyote Springs, Providence, all these really nice developments that are coming in that are building quality homes and are building quality communities, and that's allowed people to go in and live in safe neighborhoods and raise their kids and hopefully go to good schools. So I think those three have been the really biggest positive changes that occurred in the city of Las Vegas since I've been on.
As somebody living in your ward, I live down the street from Majestic Park, and I can attest that I run into people that I never would have otherwise met. So it's definitely created a sense of community. Let's talk about Circa and Derek Stevens, who I believe is from Michigan, if I'm not mistaken, originally.
Correct.
You can't blame somebody for looking at that hotel and thinking it's the crown jewel of downtown Las Vegas. I mean, it's a beautiful project. What do you think, looking at how far downtown has come in terms of its development, what do you think a project like Circa is going to do to further change the downtown landscape?
Well, I think what it says is that somebody like Derek Stevens, who comes in, and obviously he built the D first in downtown, but when somebody like him comes in and invests millions and millions of dollars in building a brand new casino in downtown Las Vegas, what that tells everybody else is this is one of the places to be in Southern Nevada. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm building a major casino. I have faith in downtown Las Vegas. Why don't you come down and do it too? And I think that's what causes people to talk is, hey, if he's seeing something, then the rest of us better start looking at it also. And I think that's what's going to happen in the next 10 years, or people are going to say, maybe I can't build a casino, but I can build a restaurant. I can build a shopping center. I can move downtown because he's investing in it. So I think he's going to bring a lot of folks into the downtown Las Vegas and invest and make it a better place because of what he's done.
Now, a big part of that is going to have to be, of course, the diversification of the economy. I know there's a lot of discussion about it. There has been for a long time. There's also a lot of discussion right now, especially with the health crisis with COVID. LVGEA recently had a program and events to talk about diversifying the economy, etc. Do you think that the city has taken the appropriate steps to be able to diversify the economy? And if so, what's been that path to be able to get to that place?
That's interesting, David, because we've been talking about diversifying the economy for at least I know the last 12 years I've been on the city council. And it's a good discussion to have. We need to diversify the economy. I think, though, where we have to start is that we are this Las Vegas. Everybody knows Las Vegas as the gaming capital of the world, the entertainment capital of the world, the restaurant capital of the world, shopping. We have to make sure that we have a healthy gaming entertainment industry here always to attract, before COVID, we had 40 million people coming to Las Vegas from all over the world. So we have to make sure that our gaming and entertainment industry are very healthy because that's who we are. But saying that, we do have to talk about diversifying the economy, and we really have to talk about letting businesses know that Las Vegas is a place to open up a business. That water is not an issue. We have plenty of water, and we're taking plenty of steps to make sure that we have water through water conservation, through agreements with the Colorado River Authority. Water's not an issue. We don't have a state income tax, which is very appealing to a lot of people. Our property taxes are very low, which are very appealing to workers and businesses. So we have to tout the things that we have here in Nevada, and we have to make sure we stay that way. We have to make sure that we never get a state income tax, that our property taxes are low. And if we advertise that, you're going to have, and our regulations are fairly low still. And when you go out to California and you advertise that, we're going to have non-gaming businesses move here. But we have to do a better job of marketing Las Vegas when it comes to diversifying. So obviously there are some things that, that businesses say are reasons why they don't want to come here. Our school system is not that great, so people don't want to come here because of that. That's already been discussed publicly. And our workforce development needs to be better. We have to have better trained people for these businesses to hire. But given that, we can accomplish all that. So the question have we done enough to diversify the economy? Probably not, and we have to continue talking about it. We have to continue marketing. What I sometimes get concerned about is when we talk about, well, we have to give tax breaks to businesses and all these financial incentives to get people to come here. I guess we can discuss that, but what that does is it really flies in the face of businesses that are already here, that have moved here, and they didn't get any incentives to come here. So I get kind of concerned about those discussions, but it's all on the table. And diversifying the economy is something we're always going to talk about, and we need to continue to talk about it, and that's a good thing.
And you mentioned California. We are seeing a massive influx of Californians right now. In fact, our residential real estate market is going through the roof. Commercial, somewhat. As we see all this, and we are competing and vying for these California residents and businesses, and as well as residents from other parts of the country. But we're competing with the likes of Texas, the likes of Arizona, etc. What do you foresee as the future for our economy, and what do you think the outlook is in spite of the challenges that we're facing economically, the challenges from COVID-19, the health crisis, etc. How do you see the future as you're in your last term as city councilman for the city of Las Vegas?
Well, first of all, we have to get through this COVID-19. We have to start opening up our businesses. We have to start opening up our economy. We can't be stuck like this for too much longer. People have to get back to work. So that's number one. We have to open up this economy and get back to normal, like we were before. So given that, it really comes down to really two things is number one, getting our tourists back to Las Vegas. We have to get back to 40 million people coming here. We have to get back to conventions. We have to continue that growth. That is the heartbeat of Las Vegas, is our convention and tourism industry. And until that comes back, we're going to be in dire shape. So once that does come back, we have to continue that growth. We have to continue to market people to come from all over the world to Las Vegas. Second of all, people are going to move to Las Vegas, especially California, as you mentioned. People are that's probably our number one growth right now. People are selling their homes in California, making pretty good money, and coming here and buying probably the same home for maybe 2/3 the price. So people and people are hearing that. So people are going to come to Las Vegas. We can't stop them. We don't want to stop them. So we have to manage our growth here. We have to manage our water. We have to manage our transportation. We have to manage our sewer systems. We have to manage our flood control systems. We have to manage our developments. We have to manage zoning. So that's really going to be one of the number one priorities of the city of Las Vegas, is when people come to build in the city, we have to make sure that what they're building is harmonious and compatible with the neighborhood, that we have good building and safety codes in place, that we have good developers coming in, building solid developments that people want to move into, that we don't just have a hodgepodge of development all over the place. It has to be something that's master planned. And we're doing that at the city. we're master planning where commercial's supposed to go, where residential's supposed to go, where industrial's supposed to go, where warehouses are supposed to go. So we are going to see some incredible growth here in the city of Las Vegas, and we just have to make sure that's done in a smart, strategic way. So if we have to get our tourism back, and we have to manage our growth, and I think we'll be in good shape.
Councilman, you have dedicated, I would say, a good portion of your life to serving this community. First off, with the Las Vegas Metro Police Department, and now with Las Vegas City Council. I want to thank you so much for your dedication to our community, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to chat with us today.
Well, I'm glad you brought that last thing up, because public safety is number one. When it comes to the service that we take of the people that live in the city of Las Vegas, public safety is always number one. And that's why we continue to have the best police departments here in Las Vegas. We have the best police officers, the best trained, equipped. That's what we fund. 60% of our budget goes to public safety, because that's what the people want. So unless we have, if we don't have a safe community, then the rest of it doesn't matter. And that's really my number one focus, is making sure that we have a safe place to raise our kids and our dogs and have our families. And we've done a very good job with that. We have a great police department here. So that was a great way for you to conclude this.
Thank you so much for your time. Look forward to chatting in the future, Councilman.
All right. Take care. Thank you.